They weren't just bands, they were the soundtrack to a generation that dreamed in color for the first time. The 1960s exploded with sound, style, and soul. Yet, in the shadow of giants like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, many great bands faded into silence. But their echoes still linger, waiting to be heard again. Here are 10 forgotten 1960s bands that truly deserve a comeback. Number 10, The Zombies. They were never supposed to last, yet the Zombies delivered a haunting masterpiece with Odessey and Oracle, an album so ahead of its time it initially flopped, only to be rediscovered decades later. With shimmering harmonies and Baroque arrangements, their sound bridged pop and psychedelia in a way few could replicate. Songs like Time of the Season and She's Not There reveal a sophistication that rivaled the Beatles' own experiments. The tragedy? They broke up just as their masterpiece was released. Today, the Zombies stand as a reminder that genius doesn't always find its audience right away, but great music never dies. It simply waits for the world to catch up. Number 9, the Yardbirds. Before there was Led Zeppelin, there were the Yardbirds. This band wasn't just good, it was a launch pad for legends. Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page all cut their teeth here, forging the DNA of rock guitar itself. Their fusion of blues and experimental rock shaped the sound of the late 60s, influencing generations of musicians who followed. But internal tensions and constant lineup changes tore them apart. Still, when you listen to Heart Full of Soul or Shapes of Things, you can feel the birth of modern rock unfolding. The Yardbirds may have faded from radio playlists, but their spirit lives on in every riff that dares to break the rules. Number 8, the Hollies. Before the stadiums, before the solos, the Hollies were masters of harmony. With tight vocal blends and infectious melodies, they stood as one of Britain's brightest pop exports. Yet history rarely mentions them alongside the greats. Songs like Bus Stop and He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother capture an emotional honesty that defined the British invasion era. They weren't rebels, they were romantics, crafting songs for dreamers rather than revolutionaries. Their consistency became their curse. They never imploded or courted chaos, and rock mythology loves chaos. But make no mistake, the Hollies' legacy lies in how effortless they made perfection sound. Number 7, the Small Faces. Before Rod Stewart found fame with Faces, there were the Small Faces, a band that burned bright and fast. Their mix of mod energy and psychedelic curiosity made them cult heroes of London's swinging scene. Itchy Coo Park and Tin Soldier shimmer with optimism and experimentation, bridging R&B and acid pop like no one else. Yet fame came too late and too fleeting. Their chemistry fractured under management troubles and ego clashes. But every time that Hammond organ kicks in, it's a glimpse into a lost world. When rock was raw, young, and unstoppable. The Small Faces weren't just another mod band. They were the missing link between rhythm and rebellion. Number 6, the Turtles. Best known for Happy Together, the Turtles were far more than a one-hit wonder. Behind their cheerful harmonies was a band bursting with wit and satire, mocking fame even as they chased it. They moved from folk rock beginnings to lush pop orchestration, creating tracks full of irony and joy. Their playful approach to fame mirrored what the Beatles did in Sgt. Pepper, only with more tongue-in-cheek humor. When the industry chewed them up, they transformed into Flo and Eddie, continuing their mischief on Frank Zappa's stage. The Turtles remind us that rock wasn't just rebellion, it could also laugh at itself. Number 5, the Kinks. It's almost criminal how the Kinks aren't celebrated as much as they deserve. Ray Davies turned everyday British life into poetry. Pubs, prams, and postmen transformed into legends in songs like Waterloo Sunset and Sunny Afternoon. They were banned from touring the US at their peak, which kept them out of the British invasion spotlight. Yet musically, they were pioneers, inventing power chords before hard rock even had a name. The Kinks didn't follow trends, they created them. Their catalog isn't nostalgia, it's sociology set to melody. The Animals. When Eric Burdon sang House of the Rising Sun, it wasn't just a song, it was a storm. The Animals embodied working-class blues, translating raw emotion into gritty anthems of rebellion. They were darker than the Beatles, rougher than the Stones, and utterly unforgettable. But internal conflicts and poor management led to their decline. Still, their sound defined an era when rock wasn't about fame, it was about feeling. Every time that haunting organ plays, it drags you straight into 1964, when the blues found a new home in the heart of England. Number 3, the Moody Blues. Before prog rock was even a word, the Moody Blues were painting galaxies in sound. Nights in White Satin remains one of the most emotional recordings of the century, lush, poetic, and drenched in existential longing. They turned orchestral arrangements into rock epics, redefining what a band could sound like. While others played love songs, the Moody Blues played philosophy. Their blend of art and pop laid the groundwork for Pink Floyd, Genesis, and even Radiohead. Yet they're rarely mentioned among the innovators they inspired, proof that sometimes visionaries live in the shadows of their own brilliance. Number 2, the Byrds. America's answer to the Beatles, the Byrds electrified folk music and gave it wings. Their jangly 12-string guitar sound, courtesy of Roger McGuinn, became the anthem of a generation. With Mr. Tambourine Man and Turn, 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 they married Dylan's poetry with shimmering pop sensibility. Their later work, like 8 Miles High, ventured into psychedelia and space before anyone else dared. Internal feuds and constant reinventions kept them from lasting, but their influence stretches across every corner of modern rock. The Byrds didn't just play songs, they invented a sound. Number 1, the Beach Boys. Yes, they were American, but no one deserves rediscovery more than the Beach Boys. Beneath the sunshine, harmonies, and surfboards lies genius. Pet Sounds reshaped music forever, inspiring Sgt. Pepper and elevating pop into art. Brian Wilson's tortured brilliance and emotional honesty created melodies that still feel timeless. Yet fame and mental illness silenced his vision before its time. The Beach Boys remind us that behind every perfect harmony, there's heartbreak. Their story isn't about waves or cars. It's about chasing beauty in a world that never slows down. The 60s were more than a decade. They were a dream, sung in perfect harmony. Some bands got the glory, others got forgotten, but every one of these names helped build the sound of a generation. Maybe it's time we turn the volume back up and let these legends live again.